Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting Team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome. I bring you greetings from the city of Abuja. Abuja is the capital city of Nigeria in West Africa. I want to just thank you for hooking up with us this morning. A beautiful morning. My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. So I'm welcoming all of you on our YouTube channel, on Facebook page. This month is a very good month. We started on a good topic on easy church signs to detect. So we're going to talk about 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. So we're looking at a declining church because we know that almost 80% of our churches are declining. And so what are the signs to look out for? You don't have to wait for you to get to attendance to know that your church is declining. So I want to welcome you. This is going to be seasonally hot. We're glad you are part of this live broadcast show. And so I'm a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting. I'm also the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Let me tell you a little bit about Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps local churches to grow healthier through empirical assessment, trainings, and strategic blueprints. Okay, our vision is to be the leading church health consultancy that creates sustainable and actionable solutions to churches. So I'm a certified church consultant, well trained in the US with the Society for Church Consulting. And of course, I'm your host, the weekly Facebook Live broadcast show on Mondays, every Monday, 7 a.m. Nigerian time. I'm also known as the Church Health Guardian of the 21st century. A big thank you to everyone who has been commenting, who's been reaching out to us, sharing our content, making some questions, asking us some questions. I just want to appreciate you from the depth of my heart. And then we go straight into what we need to discuss today. 12 uneasy signs to detect in a what? In a declining church. So watching out for trends and patterns should be one thing that church leaders need to be very good at. So watching for trends and patterns is key to knowing where you are and to also track your progress in terms of health and in terms of growth and in terms of declining. Okay, when you are able to look at the dashboard, to look at trends, you see, spotting out a trend before that trend becomes a trend that affects your church negatively is very, 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 very important. The importance of dashboard in knowing the state, the condition of what is going on in the systems in your church is very important. I said earlier that don't wait for your church to spend that long, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years or more to establish a trend, to establish that your church is in a wrong direction, or to establish that your church is in a decline. I have some military training background. I can tell you up front that when we go for a military exercise called cross country, okay, and we're given a map and a compass, okay, to navigate ourselves from an unknown place to where our school location is. Of course, the map will let you know where you are. The map also will let you know where you are going to. The map also will let you know the obstacles you are going to face on your way to your destinations. So if there's a stream, if there's a rice farm, if there's a swamp, if there's a river, if there's a mountain, on the map, you will actually see it that these are the things you're going to overcome on your way to your destination. But you see, one of the most important instruments outside the map is the compass. The compass also lets you know the direction you're going to take to get into. So when you plot your compass, of course you need to make sure that there's no metallic object in your body, so that the compass can give you the most accurate direction, and then you'll be able to plot with an object in that direction to be able to move towards that direction. And as you move towards that direction, you get a major landmark, and that's how you begin to approach your destination where you are intending to get to. Every church is designed to get to somewhere. And see, one of the things I would say from that story is that if you have 0.2 degrees away from your target with the compass, the more you are getting to your destination, the more you are away from the target. It's as bad as that. So you can see that you being able to detect accurately or exactly where you are going to is very, very important. Okay, it is easier to detect decline in guest volumes, in number of converts, in finances, the income that comes to the church, and attendance. Okay, you can easily detect the trends in some of these things, and then be able to make sure that you know that attendance is down, givings are up or givings are down, or these are the trends that givings has been in the past 3 months, in the past 3 years, in the past 5 years. But you see, the thing is, one of the things I would say is that a church cannot grow without converts and guests. Okay, 2 things that the church needs through the front door is convert and guests. And I can tell you that a church also will decline when these convert and guests do not come through the front door. So it's one thing to get more guests and converts to come into your front door, is something else to keep them coming back. Okay, something else to make sure they're established. It's another thing to ensure that they do not hit the back door. Okay, those dynamics are very, very important to make sure that your church is actually not declining or moving up the downward slope in your graph. Okay, so last week Monday we talked about, number one, there's a misalignment of ministries. Okay, we have primary ministry, we have auxiliary ministry or secondary ministries, and you see when there's a misalignment, secondary ministry becomes a primary ministry in operation, and the primary ministry is now delegated to auxiliary ministry. So there's a misalignment of failures of primary ministries in your church, and you being able to detect that is one of the things. Then sporadic shifts in attendance patterns and growth patterns. What are the seasons that your church has? What's your rainy season? What's your dry season? What's your summer season? What's your autumn, spring, fall, winter? You see, you need to understand those seasons in terms of on-site and online. We mentioned that. The number 3 that we said last Sunday is the wrong use of funds, putting money where it does not matter, or putting money that does not substantiate the Great Commission. Okay, in the areas of closing the back door, in the areas of children ministry and student ministry activities. But that's what we spoke to in last week Monday. But today we're going to talk about another 3 uneasy church signs to detect, and those 3 are such that as church leaders we need to begin to find ways to detect them and to address them. I can say up front, if you can't detect it, you can address it. If you can't detect it, I can tell you that you are acting in ignorance. If you can't detect it, that thing can be having a negative impact in your entire church health. So number 4 for today, or number 1 for today, the rate of a church relevance to the community. How is your church detecting how relevant your church is to the community? We have a lot of churches who are planted in a place, and Sam Rayner is mentioned in one of his trainings that the address of your church is not by accident. The reason why your church is located where it is located is not by accident. So what is the rate of your church relevance to the community? How relevant is your church to the community with the gospel? Okay, now the thing is this: one of the ways you can able to put your fingers on this sign is for you to understand the changes that exist in the culture and generations in your context, in your community. So the rate of change in your context must be monitored closely with community analysis. Now, the people that were listening to Jesus when Jesus was here on earth are different from the people that we have in Israel today, because the world has changed, the culture has changed, generations have changed, people do change. So what is the rate of your church relevance in the community? And that's how you know that you are not tilting towards an ex-neighborhood kind of church who is not relevant in the community. How have you been able to deviate so that you are not outwardly focused to make the needed impact in your community? What is the rate of your outward focusedness to make sure that you are actually making impact in the community as salt and light of this world? Number 2 for today is the median age of the community as compared to the age of the church and and their leaders. Okay, that's being tilted towards generic kind of church. You see, the median age, you are calculating that, then the median age of your leadership and the median age of your congregation. Okay, how do they all relate together? How far are the median age of your leaders and the median age of your congregation away from the median age of the community? You see, one of the things I will say quickly is that if there is a disparity in the median age of the community and that of your church, there's no how they can really connect. There's no how they can actually relate. There's no how they can actually exchange a kind of relationship that will be of beneficial to both parties, because you need to understand that these differences actually brings about a psychological disparity in how they are to relate with one another. So most churches don't usually detect this. What is the median age of your community? Your community is not infinite. There's a group of people. Define your Jerusalem. What's their average age? The average age of your community must be in the range of the average age of your leaders and the average age of your congregation. You see, that's another thing. Away from the community, what is the average age of your leadership? Is it also in the group, in the range of the average age of your congregation? Because if your leaders are, let's say the average of your leaders is 17 and the average age of your church is 65, there's a disconnect. There's no how they can relate healthily. Okay, you must find a way that the leaders you have is a good representation of what is in your congregation, and it's also a good representation of what is in the community, so that there's a free flow, two-way traffic communication and healthy relationship. Okay, so, and you have to be able to detect those signs and be able to address them. What are the average age of the community? How does it relate with the average age of the leadership of your church and the congregation of your church? So that's one way, and I think most church leaders need to be on that Uneasy church sign to be there. And this is something you have to put on, okay, because when you have all their ages in the same bracket, let's say in 1990, it doesn't mean that in the year 2000 that the position that you have is constant. People are migrating, people are immigrating, people are changing, birth rates, death rates are affecting population size or community, the demographics and psychographics. So you need to make sure that periodically you are actually putting yourself on the spot, so that your evangelistic effort and your discipleship effort will make some meaningful sense in making the needed impact in the community at large as a whole. Okay, the last one for today, which is knowing what has stopped working. You see, when things are working in the church, there is that tendency that the leaders is going to lower their guard because things are working, things are fine. But you see, your eyes must always be detecting what has stopped working, because something can stop working and things are actually making some form of progress and you are not being able to detect that indicator that something has stopped working. So know what has stopped working. You need to know them early enough and be willing to remove and address that thing. What faulty structures do you have? What inefficient processes do you have? What outdated standard operating procedures do you have that will be able to sustain the short growth momentum that you have? What has stopped working? Okay, what has stopped working can affect the other things that are working in your church. What has stopped working can impede the potentials of the other systems that are working in your church. So you see, we need an holistic systems of your church working at their peak, at their best, at their efficient, at the maximum of efficiency, so that the health of your church can be achieved quickly and in no time. So those are the three I'm going to share for you today. And I want you to make sure that if you have missed the last three, please go on my Facebook page, go on the YouTube channel, make sure that you watch them. There are 6 I've shared so far, and there's still 6 more that I'm going to share in the subsequent 2 Mondays of the month of September, and I know that you are going to get some good stuff from what I'm sharing. Okay, so make sure that you go on my social media handle to get the last 3 of last week Monday, and today I've shared some 3 of them to see how you can begin to detect those uneasy signs in your church, to see how you can be able to correct them in no time. The more you correct to look at these signs, I can tell you, what you don't know can kill your church. What you don't manage, what you don't know, you cannot manage. The data you don't know, you cannot improve. And so these are signs that you need to begin to look out for and see how you can be able to address them and use them to navigate your church towards health. There's a promo that I want to say quickly by Church Answers. Church Answers, they have a school called Church Consultation University. So you want to become a church consultant to help revitalize churches. You want to become well trained, well equipped to help churches. You've got years of experience as a pastor, a church leader, and you want to be equipped, well trained to be able to help churches become healthier. There are a lot of churches in Nigeria, in a global world. Though we need more churches, we need professional outlook to consulting in such a way that you can begin to give some outside eyes wisdom and perspective to help local churches become healthier and to revitalize. So please, if you want to become a certified church consultant to help revitalize churches, reach out to me on the numbers on the screen. Send me a mail. I'm going to help you. There are a couple of others who have started this training, and you see, it's eye-opening to be able to know how the churches are set up. And if you are a pastor, you are leading a church, you instead of getting a consultant, you can actually get yourself equipped with some of this knowledge so that you can help your church become healthier. Reach out to me and let us see how you can help your own church and help others' church. We need more consultants. We need more church consultants to be able to help more and more churches revitalize in our dying world today. So next week, Monday, we're going to continue with the 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. We still have 6 more to go, and I know that we're going to wrap those things up in a nice and fantastic manner. You have any church-related questions or inquiry for me, let us have them through in any of our social media handles, and I will be glad to relate with you to get you the answers you need. You have any church related questions, you have any inquiries, please make sure that you contact me. You're going to get more an answer from me. Perhaps your question is church related, please reach out to me. We're going to get you your answers. Please, this video has been helpful to you. Give us a like. Do share us to your community. Drop us a comment. I love to learn from you. I love to hear from you. You've learned from me. I want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. I love to also learn from you. Drop me a comment in the comment section in the YouTube, Facebook, whatever channel that you are watching this from, and feel free to let us know what you feel about the contents that we have. We do church consultations, revitalizations, training, and strategic blueprint. Reach out to us through the numbers of the screen. Pastors have been doing so. Mind you, in Calabar, I'm going to have 5 days church leadership summit. I want to share some of those information subsequently in 2 weeks. I'll be in Calabar, Cross River State, to talk to a large number of church leaders. Please feel free to just hook up with me at that point, and that will be very, very great to have you there. So please feel free to also send in your questions, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. Till I come your way next week, Monday, with another the continuation of the 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. I say bye-bye. I love you, and God bless you.